Hi there. Okay, so I did this before, but I'm gonna do it again, just maybe just for myself or what. But I'm gonna go from start to finish on how I got how I got these. Um, you when you have bad teeth and you know you have bad teeth, it's devastating. It really is. You don't want to look at anybody. You don't want to smile at anybody. You always go like this, so everything off your mouth. I mean, it's very depressing. And for me, I knew I had bad teeth. My top teeth were just terrible. I mean, they're like rotted off all the way to here, and then right off all the way to here, and then it's like this one chipped off, and it was just horrible. So I had looked into getting my top denture. On my bottom teeth, they're yellow, but they're healthy. Um, so I looked in. First, it was implants, and I think everybody goes through that. That they're in the same situation. Implants were just they were just not an option. I mean, it was so expensive that I couldn't even imagine even paying that much money. Don't get me wrong, getting the top denture was very expensive. So that's from immediate. I'll get into that. So I was very depressed. Like, oh my gosh, no one does this at this age, and this, that, and this. And I've said that before in my videos, but it's still, it's a hard thing to grasp. It really is. So once I got over that hurdle of, like this has to be done. It was my mom actually really she pushed for it. She looked up some different places, and I remember I went to Aspen Dental, and you know I'm really not going to go into that too much because I'm not here to um, say bad things about any dentists, but they just did not work for me. They wanted to save my teeth, which the ones they could save, put partials in, do crowns, do root canals. Well, when it came down to it, they gave me a quote of $14,000. I didn't have $14,000, so I was just like, "Oh, I don't know what to do, so I thought, well, I'm just gonna deal with my rotten teeth, and that's just not right. I mean, no one should do that. So it took me a while, and then my mom, she finally convinced me. She's like, hey, look, it's gonna be better off for you than anything else, and so I did. I went to that first consultation. I drove myself, and I went there, and basically he said exactly what I knew. You need your teeth done. Your top teeth can't not be saved. I knew that. I knew that. It's very hard when someone else says that, you know. So I did that, and I set up the next appointment, which was exactly a week later, and that's when they do impressions. Impressions are kind of weird, and I'm sure you've seen it, probably in another video I made, but uh, they basically take this metal tray and they fill it with this goop. Mine was pink, and they shove it up in your mouth, and you hold it there for 5 minutes. That 5 minutes, well, a lot of people gag. I never gagged, but a lot of people do. Thank goodness I didn't, because they have to redo it again. But when they pulled them out, because they after 5 minutes it like hardens. You can feel it hardening in your mouth. Pull them out. I thought they're just gonna. It was all my teeth are gonna be ripped out. I really did, but no, they didn't. And they did the same thing with the bottom, and that was that point. Actually, before that they did do X-rays, and then they did the impressions. But the next week was extractions, and it was 13 teeth all around, I mean, I had one back here that was already pulled, so I didn't have to deal with that. Thank goodness. But that morning, well, the night before, I couldn't eat. I couldn't eat or drink 12 hours before because a lot of people want to be awake. I did not want to be. I've gotten teeth pulled in my past. Well, it was when I was young, there were baby teeth, but then I got this one pulled. And wow, I mean, I felt like they were just gonna like rip my, and they're gonna break my jaw because you always have to sign that little consent form that says, hey, maybe this might happen and this might happen, and you have to sign it before they even gonna do anything. So I didn't want to be awake for that, and so you go in there. I think my appointment was like at 11 o'clock. You go in there and they actually strap your arm down so you can't move, and they put an IV in, and and he injects the drug, and it's what's weird about it is it's a drug that you're still kind of awake, and so if they ask you to open your mouth a little more, you can. So you're aware, but you're not aware. I know that doesn't make sense. That's why I asked many times about it. I'm like, if I'm gonna be awake, because I didn't want to be awake. I want to be put out. That's my personal preference. I want to be put out, and then, but she explained to me that no, you are conscious, but you're not going to remember anything, and she was right. Because once he asked me, he's like, so you feeling a little sleepy yet or anything like that? And I was like, well, I think so. I feel kind of good. And then bam, I was out. And next thing I remember, I was in the car with my mother. She brought me there and brought me back, of course. And I remember looking in the mirror, and I was like, oh my gosh, I got some great teeth. And I'm just telling you this because you don't need to do it. They say you need to leave your immediates in for the first 24 hours. Don't take them out. I did. I was still drugged up. I mean, I was numb, so I didn't feel anything. And then from the whatever they gave me, I don't really know what it was. I was feeling good, and so I remember in the car I pulled them out, and then there was like blood everywhere, and so my mom was so pissed at me. She was, but she's like, shove those back in, and I did. I literally shoved them back in, and then I didn't take them out for the next day. So the next day I had to go back in there so they can look and maybe do some kind of soft reline, which I wasn't. My gums hadn't healed the way a lot of people do. Everybody heals differently, but so when I went back in there, it's like, oh, we're gonna have to wait, another week before we can give you reline. So that first week, I'm not gonna lie, it was bad. It was bad. I couldn't eat anything. I was eating applesauce. I was eating yogurt. I was eating like brothy soup, and it that was all fine because you have to eat. You got to get some kind of nutrition. Oh, I was drinking those health shakes too, like Ensure and stuff. I was like, oh my gosh, how did I become an old person at 32 years old? But that all changes, and so that after that week, and it was hell, don't get me wrong, because my gums for the first 4 days, they just bled and bled and bled, especially at nighttime, and they would bleed into my stomach, and then I would try to like drink some milk or some water or anything like that, and then my stomach was not having it at all, and I'd be vomiting all the time. One time I vomited. It was like the second day, and my teeth like flew out of my mouth. Luckily, I caught them in my hand because you don't want them to break. They can break. If they hit a hard surface or anything like that. So I was very afraid of that. But I would say after the 2 week mark, everything's really started coming together. Like, because your gums are very swollen. After a week or 2 weeks, that's when the swelling really goes down. But then they're loose. They're very, very loose, and you have to go in and get relines done. I didn't know that when I paid, because I paid for my immediate dentures or my temporary dentures, and then my permanent dentures. I paid for that all at once, and I didn't know that that included the relines. That first 6 months, you got to get at least 3 or 4 relines. You do, because your gums just get smaller and smaller and smaller. And so they did that, thank goodness. And after that, it was just basically learning how to speak again and learning how to eat. Um, Speaking wise, at first, like if I was on the phone, I'd take them out and I'd talk on the phone because I could speak better without them than with them. That's how bad it was. And eating wise, oh, I tried a hamburger like on like day 6 or 7, like after a week. I ate it. Don't get me wrong, it was it was very good, but I was still very tender up here, and so it hurt, and I thought, well, that's just what I'm gonna have to deal with, um, for the rest of my life, which that's not true. That's not true at all. And then I got an infection in one of my eye teeth. I got a fistula into my sinuses, and that's on that form that you sign. And they warn you about that, but you have to sign the form to get it done anyways. So really, you really don't have any choice. I mean, you do have a choice if you have teeth that can be saved. I didn't have any teeth that could be saved. I mean, my bottom teeth are saved. They're yellow, but they're healthy teeth. My tops, no, there was nothing. I mean, the dentist confirmed that. I knew that's what it was, but it's nice to have a professional confirm, what I thought. So yeah, it took me about 2 weeks. After the 2 weeks, everything started to heal. I was still tender in some spots, and of course, don't you can't forget about the bone spurs and the sore spots that you get, especially when you have a loose fitting denture. So, I had my temporary dentures a little over 6 months. The dentist wanted to do my finals at 5 months, but then life happens. We all have a life. It's not like we're just waiting to go to the dentist every day. So I waited till a little after 6 months, and it was like night and day. It really was. The other ones they were so short, and so there's so much gum up here that when I smiled huge like this, that you could see there was so much gum, and I never had that before. And my dentist reassured me that these are just temporary. These are like the ones, just so I wouldn't go without teeth, which that's something that had to happen. I wasn't going to budge on that one, which means you have to pay a little bit more, but I was willing to do that. Um, so I lived with those for 6 months. I got used to them. I did. I got used to, smiling a certain way, so I didn't show a lot of gum and this and that and this. And it came to the day that I got my final teeth, and it was weird because they bring you in, they sit you down, and they're like, "Can you take your teeth out?" And I took them out and put them in a little travel container, and so he brings in my final teeth, and they put it in. Then I bite down, and the bite does not fit because your mouth gets used to the other ones. I mean, don't get me wrong, they fit just fine, but it's odd. It's odd. It's hard to explain. But then they're like, "Oh, they look so good," and there was like 2 other people came in. They're like, "Oh, your teeth look so good, and everything looks great. The midline's good, and this, that, and this." And I'm like, "Well, can I see a mirror, please?" Because they're my teeth. I would like to see what they look like. And I was amazed. I was like, wow. Because you can see that there's um, defined between each tooth. My immediates weren't like that at all. And then with all the reline crap in there, they get really bulky and big. So I was very happy that day, very very happy. But it did take me a few days for my bite to adjust to the teeth, and that's just a normal thing. And let's see, when did I get those? It's been, I don't know, a few months that I've had these, and I I really can't even tell if they're there anymore. And eating wise, I can eat anything. I'm telling you, anything. Hard, chewy. Well, the sticky, chewy stuff I can eat, but it's just not the easiest thing to do. Um, oh, and adhesive. I have adhesive, but I don't wear it at all. At all. I just the only time I ever wear adhesive is, if I'm going out to a fancy dinner or this, that, and this, and I don't want to be like eating slow or like picking out my mouth or, worried that food's going to get stuck underneath them, because that does happen, and I'm not going to go into the public restroom and, take out my teeth to wash them. I'm just not going to do that. So, but I don't really have to deal with that at all. I know a lot of people, they use adhesive all the time, and I think that's just a poor fitting denture, really, because mine, they're not relined. These are same as they were when they first put them in my mouth, and they're great. They really are. So that's basically what it really wasn't that bad. When a lot of people think about this, they think, oh my gosh, it's going to be a big long process and there's going to be so much pain. The pain, actually, for me, was when I had my original teeth. And they were just like throbbing all the time. My gums down here were so inflamed that they would bleed every time I brushed. And I brushed. Don't get me wrong, I brushed a lot, but it was like I was spitting out blood, and that's not something you want to see. And ever since I got them done, everything's changed. My appetite's changed. I can eat more now, and it's not because I can eat just because I can chew. It's because I don't feel like before. I think it was the infection. I just wasn't hungry at all, and I was depressed. And when I get depressed, I don't eat. So it's just changed my life so much, so much. So I'm not endorsing getting dentures, but I do think if and everybody, I mean, yourself, if you have bad teeth. You really do. And if you know that they can't be saved, or you get told by your dentist they can't be saved, or they can save them, but it's going to cost you $20,000 to get them saved, that's ridiculous. And, a lot of us, most people can't afford that, So, I mean, it costs close to $4,000 for, I didn't get my bottoms, I just got my tops. Cost $4,000. That included the temporary dentures and the immediates, and then all the relines that came with my temps. So, I mean, it's expensive, but it's really not that close to, getting implants. I would like to, because implants will save your bone. I'm just very grateful that I still have my bottom teeth. They need to be whitened, of course, because I wasn't going to buy yellow teeth. I've said that before, but, that's something I can deal with. I can deal with that on my own. So I just kind of wanted to put that out there. I hope you guys having a great day. All right, bye.